Welcome, welcome. We're going to go ahead and give people a chance to log in. Welcome to the MST informational webinar. We will start at 6:30. So if you're here, welcome. Just sit tight. It's going to be a little quiet for 2 minutes, but then we'll get it started. If you're just coming in, thanks for being here. We're going to get started at 6:30. Give people a chance to get logged in and admitted into the room. And I'll give directions about how to ask questions, and we'll get started with the webinar in less than 60 seconds now. So at 6:30, thank you for being here for our MST informational webinar for the Magnet Program at Camas High School. If you are new to Zoom, you should see, hopefully at the bottom of your screen, a Q&A button that you can push and you can submit questions. And we have a number of people, if you see our videos on, we have a number of people on the call. I'll introduce everyone, but they'll be madly typing out answers to questions as you type them in there. And then at the end, we'll have some time to answer questions out loud as well. If you know of someone that was unable to attend this meeting and is not here currently, we will be posting a link to the video of the meeting as soon as we have that ready on, I assume, the MST website as well as Camas High School's website somewhere, and possibly send that out via Parent Square. So Mr. Green is going to be moving the slide deck forward, and we're going to be walking through some information for you. First, some introductions so you know who all these faces are. Our program principal is Mr. Morris. He helps push the paper and write the checks for us to do what we do, and so we appreciate his support. My name's Brianna Abraham. I teach the freshman MST students in Principles of Technology, the sophomores in AP Biology, and I work with the juniors and seniors for their research internships. And then we have Alan Bohack, teaches math, and most of our MST students will have him at some point in their career at CHS. Mr. Green teaches sophomore English, and he runs the website and helps support the program with a myriad of stuff. He's our technical guru for all things tech. And then we have Jeannie Jarvis, teaches our 9th grade English MST class. And Jennifer Roberts teaches our 9th grade AP Environmental Science class and helps a lot with the research projects in both 9th and 10th grade year, which we'll talk more about. And then finally, but not least, Mrs. Leby is our counselor. She takes care of all MST students 9th through 12th grade with scheduling and any, of course, issues that come up, and supports the program in a host of ways. And now Mr. Green is going to walk us through the next couple slides, so I'm going to go ahead and mute.
Good evening, everyone.
Let me introduce our panelists, our student panelists. I always forget that. We have 3 students on as well who will be answering some questions throughout our time to share the student perspective. So we have senior Cheryl Lee. She also serves as the president of our MST ASB club. And so she's on here with 4 years experience under her belt, looking forward to graduation. We have a junior, Sophie Jacobs, who has been wonderfully active in our program and is almost done, 1 more year. And we have sophomore Erin Lee, who is in the midst of the research project work as a sophomore, and they'll be able to share their perspective and give you some insight into it from a student's point. So Mr. Green, sorry.
No problem. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Green. I teach English and history at Camas High School. And one of the questions we always get about our program and the students who apply is, what does this typical MST student look like? This is a slide with a ton of words on there. If you look at the highlighted portions, those are kind of the general aptitudes and ideas that we're looking for in our students that I'm going to walk through on the next page. For instance, we definitely want to see that our students have an interest in STEM. This is a math, science, technology, engineering program, and so obviously having an interest in those fields is going to be of use for them in the program. It's also a research-based program. Mrs. Abe's going to talk about that quite a bit tonight. But you have to have an interest in learning about the research process and solving tough problems with your colleagues that you'll be working with. And of course, along with the research and just in academia in general, we always look for a strong commitment from you in terms of your ethical behavior in the way that you conduct research and present yourself in academia. Another thing that is a huge part of our program is the need for you to be able to work on a team with a group of people. If you think that is not necessarily who you are, or you're not willing to develop that part of yourself, this may not be the right fit for you, because we do an extensive team-based approach in the freshman and the sophomore years, and life is really about working on a team as well, too. Finally, we just love to see people who are just interested in their personal growth and academic growth, refining their skills, working hard, and growing from their mistakes. And again, along with that, just the ability to persevere, to demonstrate resilience, and to have a little bit of grit in the way that you approach your work and life. So, if those things are open to you, or meaning that you're open to those things being developed in you, we're going to help you along the way. And that will be a good thing for you, we think. At this point, we're going to have some student voice. I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Abe, and she'll call up for the first person.
Awesome. So Cheryl, how has the MST program helped shape these characteristics in you?
So, okay, I think within the magnet program itself, there are many opportunities for teamwork. Like even just going in like the first day, like even before school starts, we have like the magnet orientation where you're put into a team and you have to work. I think in the picture you can kind of see their activities with a team. In Principles of Technology, we also do a lot more like team-based stuff. And just throughout the whole process of Magnet, we have like research projects that really strive us to work hard and persevere. And in our freshman and sophomore year, we do work on those with a team. So like we get more teamwork skills. And yeah.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's awesome. And Sophie, how about you? What do you see the magnet program doing for you?
Yeah, I mean, like Cheryl said, you definitely work with a team a lot, especially I didn't really know many people in the program going into my freshman year, but I definitely did by the time we got a few weeks in. And you face a lot of challenges in Magnet in your classes and your research. It's tough classes, you're doing a lot of advanced stuff. And being in Magnet, you gain experience facing those challenges and solving them creatively and working to solve them with other people. You learn to kind of delegate those responsibilities and make sure all the work gets done and solve problems as a team, which is really nice. And that applies to a lot of fields, not just the STEM that Magnet focuses on.
Very true. Thank you for that. Okay.
So
You're
back to
muted.
talking a little bit about our students, and giving you some visuals for that. Again, a lot of people think they have to sacrifice a part of their existence and their being to be a part of the magnet. Not true. We have really dedicated and involved students. We have varsity athletes every year, and JV athletes competing for Camas High School in soccer. Here's Hope from many years ago as a gymnast. We've had varsity football players. Rio here playing a little softball. We always have a bunch of people in the swim team and in tennis. And recently, Maddie was recognized for her gymnastics effort, I believe, last year. And so, again, lots of varsity athletes on our program to demonstrate that idea that there is no single one look to our magnet program, and that it's not a limiting factor. Other extracurricular activities like this group of knowledge bowlers who won the state championship several years ago. Actually, they went on to win, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. It was pretty impressive. And then we have people who are involved in band heavily. We have theater folks amongst us as well. And we've also got people doing robotics. during their time at Camas High School as well, which dovetails beautifully with what we do in our program. We have students who are definitely interested in research and doing that at a high level. Resab in this picture is representing the program, I believe, at ISEF, the International Science and Engineering Fair. He won a trip to this and eventually went on to meet President Obama at the White House based on his work he did in his research internship experience in high school, and eventually got a published credit in the Journal of Immunology. And Megal right up here worked up at the WSU Coffin Lab. This is Dr. Coffin up in the corner here, and did a bunch of research up there as well. I think I heard that Megal just got her residency, I believe, at the UW. She's just ready to dive into further medical school. And of course, we have people involved in ASB and some of the lighter fun things that happen in the magnet program and in Camas High School in general. So that is a little bit about the no single look of our program and our students, and just the really diverse nature of our kids and their interests that eventually come together once they're in the program. Abe, back to you.
So I'm going to give you just a sample scope and sequence of what classes will look like if students are in the MST program, and you'll see room for some of those electives and looking at other interests. But as a freshman in the program, there are 3 classes that are cohorted together where only MST students are in the class together, and they work through their first 3 periods. There's AP Environmental Science, taught by Mrs. Roberts. There's Honors English 9, taught by Mrs. Jarvis, and then the Principles of Technology, taught by me. And they'll work through those 3 classes all together as a cohort, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th period, they'll go on and be with the other population of CHS in their other classes. And you'll see this elective, that X on the elective, because the AP Environmental Sciences, there's science, the Principles of Technology takes one of their elective spots their freshman year. So they have space for 1 elective in their freshman year, but then moving on into sophomore, junior, and senior year, those electives open up. And so as a sophomore, there are 2 classes that are cohorted as MST students only, and that goes Honors English 10 and AP Biology. The MST Research 10 class doesn't take up a class period. I work with the sophomores during their AP Biology class, because I teach that as well, to work on their research project. And I'll talk more about the research. So that doesn't take up a class period. So they still have 6 periods. Only AP Biology and Honors English 10 is that MST cohorted, and they're available to take whatever else they want for the other 4 periods of the day. And then as juniors and seniors, you'll notice there really isn't any specific MST only class other than that MST Research 11 and MST Research 12, which, just like MST Research 10, is only outside of class time. And so I work with the juniors to find a research experience. They're expected to complete a minimum of 90 hours on a research experience and a topic of their interest with a mentor, and they'll use that as the basis of their senior project and finish up with a capstone research paper and presentation to the school board in December, and then in our annual symposium in May. So that's gives you an idea of how MST fits into their classes over 4 years at CHS. There's more clarification on the website about other things and what the options are. But I'll talk more about the research on a later slide. I'd like to ask our students what they've found and how they've appreciated the MST only classes 9th and 10th grade year. So Sophie, why don't you start us off? What did you like about having that cohorted class as your freshman, sophomore year of high school?
Yeah, I mean, it made a smoother transition into high school than I think I would have gotten otherwise. Just having that group and having that, like, community of people that you get to know really well and get to bond with and get to work with, that can kind of, like, support you through starting high school and be there for you going in, was really nice to have. And being in those magnet only classes also definitely, like, helped out my academic drive, if that makes sense. Being in a class with a group of people who are, like, as determined to, like, learn and succeed as you is not a common thing, but in the magnet classes you really get that, which I really appreciated.
Thank you, Sophie. And Aaron, what do you appreciate? You're still in it. You're in the sophomore class. What do you appreciate about having those cohorted classes together?
Yeah, I really agree with what Sophie said. I really appreciate being in the same classes with other like-minded students that share the same interests as me. And like as a freshman, I got to able to like know these other students a lot better and create even stronger and meaningful friendships. And like I think this helped, yeah, like transitioning into freshman year a lot better because my first three periods were with them, and this helped to foster a sense of community and belongingness, which I really liked.
That's great, Aaron. Thank you. And then after those cohorted classes, right, there is room for flexibility and individuality. And so what I'd like to do is ask Sophie, how have you individualized your high school experience outside of those MST classes?
Yeah, I do a lot of activities outside of my magnet stuff. I'm very involved in theater at CHS. I've been involved in all the shows since my freshman year. I'm on the school swim team, and I'm currently assistant editor of the yearbook. I'm gonna get bumped up to editor in chief next year. I'm also in 3 different clubs right now, and like it's a busy schedule, but magnet is still an important part of what I do. I mean, I'm working on finalizing my internship for the summer right now and getting that all settled, but it's not the only thing I do. I still have time to kind of explore my other interests, especially I'm not really a STEM student as much as other people in the magnet program are. So I get time to kind of explore the arts and humanities a bit more, which is something I really enjoy.
That's awesome. Thank you, Sophie, for sharing that. Okay, so just some defining characteristics, I think, about the program. Mr. Green talked about defining characteristics of our students and the fact that there isn't one size fits all for the magnet program, but what do we offer as a program? Really that inquiry-based project study, I think the number one thing is the research. So as freshmen and sophomore students, they will pick a topic to complete a year-long research project over, and we require that they work in teams to do this. So 2 to 4 students will pick a topic of interest. They'll complete a literature review. So they'll review all of the stuff that's been done on the topic before they get it. And then they will design and complete an experiment, or they'll design a product and test the product and write a complete research paper. They will produce a poster, and then they will present their research to whoever comes to our May symposium and talk about their research to people. And so they really learn how to public speak, they learn how to do research, they learn how to work together on a team to overcome problems and delve deep into a topic. And their topic usually changes from freshman to sophomore year. So they have 2 full years of research under their belt before they become juniors. And then they start to go, okay, what do I want to do on my own? And as a senior, the summer before their senior year, they'll find a mentor. Often it will be a mentor with a company or a lab attached to a college, but sometimes it will just be a mentor that also is an expert in what they're interested in, and they'll conduct research on their own as a senior and go through the same process, writing the paper, doing the literature review, and they get to present their research twice, well, 3 times actually. They get to present it in December to our school board members, they get to present it in May at our May symposium, and then they also usually use it to present to the senior boards for their senior project stuff. And so they showcase what the MST program has done for them with that capstone project. Something else that we do very well, I think, is looking at, I think the next one is tech. I'm waiting because I don't want to get out. Yeah, okay. The use of technology. So principles of technology, we explore a variety of technical stuff that we do. Sometimes it's laser cutting, sometimes it's 3D printing. We've done drones in the past. We've done Arduino and coding, app development, different kinds of things like that. I know in English classes, they'll do video projects and they'll do audio stuff and they'll delve into technology, even in the humanities. And so we try in biology and in AP environmental science, we try to use a lot of current technology. We do a whole CRISPR lab. We obviously use our microscopes and DNA fingerprinting and gel electrophoresis and micropipettes, and try to give them wet lab skills as well that they'll use and in wherever they're going to go on. Even if they're not in STEM, the ability to learn the technology and access new things helps keep their brain working, and troubleshooting and problem solving and learning new things is always great. So we do a lot of technology use as well. Oh, I think we were going to ask about the research projects. Cheryl, first of all, what's been most valuable? She's a senior, so she's gone through all of the research projects, opportunities, and the internship. What's been most valuable about your research experience, Cheryl?
I think the most valuable thing about my research experience throughout the past 4 years has just been the large variety of topics I've been exposed to. For a little bit of context, in my freshman year, I did a project on like erosion and corrosion of saltwater, and in my sophomore year, I investigated mental health. And in my junior year, like the summer after junior year, I did something more related to something that I love, which was robotics. And although like in your research experience within Magnet, you might not necessarily find what you like initially, like what I found initially when I was doing my research, you still get to learn a lot more about the research process, and it makes you like low-key kind of like more curious about things. And I think that was really like helpful, especially like getting to just have hands-on experience with so many different topics.
I love that. Thanks, Cheryl. Erin, what about you? You've done 2 years now. You're finishing up your sophomore research project. What have you found valuable about the research?
Um, I think for me, that has to be like the first-hand experience of research and scientific process, such as finding problems to solve, proposing to the teachers, and then like working in a group and planning out the project and then finally presenting it to the audience. Because prior to freshman year, I had no research experience, so I think this is like really important for me. You also get to choose your research project topic, so it's pretty flexible, and I really like that as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. It does help when students are interested in what they're researching to do it all year long. So thank you guys for that perspective. Student teacher cohorts, because they are cohorted together with Mrs. Roberts in AP Environmental Science and Mrs. Jarvis in English, and then me with Principles of Technology as freshmen, and then Mr. Green and I share the sophomores. We have the same students, we see all of the things going on, and we actually meet together weekly or bi-weekly to discuss the program and what's going on in our classes. And if we see any problems with our students and we recognize a student is struggling, we're able to come together and work with that student as a group. It's a much better support system for students in our program. And we don't just care about their academics. Students are people, and we care about them as people. And when they struggle with something outside of school or personal relationships or whatever it is, hopefully they see that we're here to support them in whatever comes up. And we can do that because we know them better, because we have them, and we can look at them in all different realms. And so that's really cool. The cross-grade collaboration is pretty fun. We do, because we've had students do an aquaponics project almost every year of Magnet. We have had the opportunity to have our juniors and seniors talk to the freshmen and sophomores as they're starting to do aquaponics. We've had a number of students work with algae. And so we've had older students mentor the younger students going, yeah, we had a really hard time getting our algae to grow. So this is what you need to do to get your project off the ground. We've had a number of students working with bacteria now. We've had students doing 3D printing filament from recycled. So we've had mentorship just from our students to our younger students, which is really kind of an exciting thing to see them pass on their knowledge. And that's what research is all about, right? Furthering our knowledge, not doing it in isolation. And so that's really been a cool part of the program as well. And then finally, it is a smaller community. We allow for 32 students in our program every year. So over 4 years, that's 100 and I don't know, 28, if I'm doing my math right, I could be wrong, but it's a smaller community and we do a lot of social events. So we start off with orientation before they ever come to school. Then we have an overnight, usually at Ashland. This year, coming up in the fall, will be Ashland. We do an overnight at the high school. We do a barbecue right before graduation, we do an escape room with seniors, we do movie afternoon activities, we've done ice skating events. So we do these social activities that allow students to get to know each other again outside of the academics, blow off some steam, learn that life is more than school, and connect with each other on a deeper way. And so Sophie, our junior, you've had 3 years under your belt here. What's been your favorite social event?
Ashland, probably. I mean, I definitely have the preference for theater, but even then, I think everyone you ask would probably say Ashland. It's such a fun trip.
And I'll put in a blurb for that. Thank you. We are going to be doing Ashland this fall. So we'll be putting out information to our current students, and then to the accepted class, the freshmen coming in, we'll also be sending out information about that. It's very fun. And Cheryl, as you're leaving 4 years, what's been your most memorable social event?
I would also have to second Sophie on Ashland. The trip was like an overnight trip where we got to watch 2 plays. We got to explore like the little town of Ashland, and we also got to do an acting workshop, and it was just a really great experience to kind of like break down like scary barriers of getting to know your upperclassmen and getting to know people just outside your grade within Magnet. So I would say that would be my favorite social event.
That's awesome. It is nice. It's early in the year. It's like the first or second weekend of October. So we've had literally maybe 5 or 6 weeks of classes, and we get the 9th through 12th graders get to go, as many as can fit on one bus, and you'll get more information about that. But it is a really, really fun event. So thank you for that, guys. Okay, so now you might be asking about how do you apply? So these are the prerequisites to be thinking about. You have to be an 8th grade student, so we only accept freshmen coming in to CHS. And then there's an application process. And so you'll submit an application, and I believe it will go live tonight. You should have already been able to access the questions on our website if you've been looking at that, but it will go live, so you'll be able to submit it. And think about your answers to those questions and do a good job. There's no reason to apply early. The deadline is coming up, and we'll go over dates on another slide, but think about it and be mindful and thoughtful about your answers. We do need 4 recommendations, 1 from your math teacher, 1 from your science teacher, 1 from your English teacher, and then find a 4th adult who knows you well, who's not related to you, to tell us a little bit about you. And those recommendation forms, it's not a letter that they have to write. It's a Google form that they'll submit and fill out. And you can go on the website and request those recommendations, and that will send an email to the teachers, and they'll have a link to submit the form online. And it shouldn't take them very long, 10 to 15 minutes, maybe max. And one question we often get is, sometimes I know at the middle school level, you can have the same teacher for a math and a science, or a science and an English maybe. If that's the case, your 8th grade year, you have the same teacher for 2 of those subjects. Go ahead and ask that teacher to submit 1 recommendation as 1 subject, and go to your 7th grade teacher for the other subject and ask them to submit a recommendation. And then there is an entrance exam with a writing portion, an English language arts portion, and a math portion. And on the next slide, we'll talk about dates on when that entrance exam will be. And so April 10th, that's tonight, our info meeting. April 21st, you have 11 days to get that application in. And Mr. Green's going to walk us through the website and show you where to get the application, to request those teacher recommendations, and to get more information about the program. So I'll pass it off to Mr. Green.
Good evening, everyone. I'm back, and here is our MST website. Probably needing an update here in the next decade or so. We'll see. But anyway, there's all sorts of information up here across these tabs that we're going to just preview for you. But the one that you're most interested in right now is how to apply to the program. And if you go to this admissions tab and come down student applicants here, and then click on the admissions FAQ, frequently asked questions, it tells you pretty much everything that we're going over tonight, including, again, the preview of the questions, and just how to go about getting. Sorry, I just dealing with my Zoom lag here after a few years of not having done it. But anyway, yeah, there's all sorts of information here, including the timeline that we're going over, that tells you all about the stuff that you need to do and when you have to do it, etc. So this is a great place to be if you're starting the process of requesting teacher recommendations. Here it is, and you click on this button, it opens up this form, and you can put in your email, so it'll send you a copy of the request, and then your English teacher's email address. Make sure you're not using the CSD117.org domain. It should be the camas.wednet.edu one that the teachers use. And then, of course, down below, you have the place where you can choose the person who is your fourth choice recommendation for this. And that is the beginning of the request process. And then the application is going to go live after our meeting, but it's right here, number 3. And over here is the form that the adults fill out. And again, they get emailed a link to this, and they also get a copy of each recommendation sent to them so that they can track who they've recommended and how that works. We also have a bunch of other stuff on the website. I think it's probably okay to just show you a few of these things really quickly. If you want to see where some of our graduates have gone, this is a wonderful little Google map that takes you to different places across the United States, and you can zoom in on this and you can click on the individual links, and you can see here, this one, Camas in 2016 and Thomas in 2024 went to UCSD. Up here, this looks like, I'm guessing Pepperdine, yes, Brianna and Chloe. And then down here in the heart of Los Angeles, we got University of Southern California and all sorts of others in here, Caltech and various others. But this is kind of a fun thing to look at and see where our graduates have gone, not just within the United States, but also over in Europe as well. But I'll let you explore that on your own. And then we've got information about the internship research experience stuff. We've also got on this video link here, an old YouTube video that's still very relevant with some of our graduates talking about some of the questions that you've heard the answers to tonight already, but it's just another nuanced angle with that. Program overview. You can see what our self-evaluation process is like if you're interested. We have a cool project database that was created by one of our former students. You can enter a search inquiry and try to find projects on any topic that you want to know if there's been research done on this. But one of our former students manages and updates this site, and it's kind of a cool catalog of our research that we fill up every spring when we're done with the year's research. Let's see, other things on here. I think that's about it. I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Abe and get us back to the screen so we can see some more of the dates that are relevant for tonight's meeting.
The nice thing is they are all on the website. So if you don't have to write them down madly or take a screenshot of this right now. But that admissions exam is April 22nd. I believe it's from 4 to 7:30 in the North Commons. So you'll need to come up and take that test then. If for some reason you get sick and are unable to take it or are not in town, there is a makeup exam by appointment only, and you'll need to email Mr. Morris and Mrs. Leby to do that on April 24th for that makeup exam. And then we will assess everything and we'll let you know May 12th. I think if you came and saw us at the Papermaker preview night, I might have had a wrong date on there. So May 12th is when we're letting people know, excuse me, if they got into the program. And you will have already forecasted, I believe you may have already forecasted already in your middle schools. I don't know the timeline for middle schools, but Mrs. Leby will put you into those 3 MST classes, Principles of Technology, APES, and English. So you don't have to do anything on your end to forecast for those. Once you've been accepted to the program, Mrs. Leby goes in and adjusts your schedule for you. So you'll be right for rain in August when we start. I do want to ask one final question from our panelists, and then we'll see if there's any questions that we need to answer verbally if they haven't been asked in the question and answer panel. But we have Aaron first. Go ahead and answer for us. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about applying? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I would really like to strongly encourage middle schoolers to apply for Magnet. Even if you don't have much STEM experience, but like would like to learn more, like you still fit you'll fit right in here because Magnet provides a lot of opportunities for you to continue learning and developing your interests and passions for STEM. The application process is not too complicated. Just do your best. And also you have nothing to lose, only and because the benefits of Magnet greatly outweigh the risks. And if you want to learn more about Magnet, or how, like, even if you have no previous experience, it's Magnet, I think, is the perfect program for you.
Thank you, Aaron. Jeez, who needs us around, right? Cheryl, what would you say as a senior looking at the rest of your life, going on to college and leaving us behind? What would you say to an eighth grader about applying?
I think I would mention that Magnet is kind of like a lifelong commitment, whereas the community and the people you meet, like a lot of them kind of stick with you for the rest of your life, like the connections you make. The people I've met in Magnet personally have been like some of the most incredible people that like I've ever met in my whole entire life, and I've learned so much from them. So I'd say like also if you're on the fence about applying, just go take a shot at it. It's a great program, especially if you're interested in like being a part of like kind of this long-lasting community and also like wanting to explore research and just like be more curious and have a great high school experience.
Thank you so much. And that concludes our spiel, as we like to say. This, if you are interested, this is the current. No, this was last year's kids. Our last year seniors, class of 2024, and their research projects, you see in the middle all of the logos of the companies and institutions that they worked with to complete their research experience as a senior for their capstone project. And we have one of these posters for every year of our program up in the Principles of Technology classroom. And it's really kind of fun. Students will come in, especially if they've had siblings in the program, and they'll find their brother or sister and they go, "Oh my gosh, that's my brother." And they'll text him and go, "I saw you on the wall of Principles of Technology," and it highlights what our students have done as a part of the program, which is kind of fun. So I see currently 3 questions that are hopefully being answered. I know Mr. Morris is typing an answer. Let me see. Can you join Magnet and drop off later if you want? That's a great question. And let me say, of course, there's nothing, you don't sign in blood that you're going to be an MST for all 4 years, and things happen. But what I would say is like I know there's the Running Start program as juniors and seniors. I know there's the CamTech program. There's other options for students. Magnet is just one option for their high school career at CHS. So if they're really looking to do something else their junior, senior year and are not hoping to stay with the program, I would recommend not taking a spot from someone that wants to be in the program for the 4 years. It is a 4-year program, and we expect our students to start with us as freshmen and graduate as seniors as an MST student. But things come up and we understand. I mean, we've had students move, we've had students have to make different decisions for different things that have come up, but we really do like to see our students come in and stay with us for all 4 years. Let's see. So for students registered to Camas School District as freshmen, but not attending a middle school at Camas School District, are they considered in the same realm as students? I think that's the question. Yes, it's open to Camas students only, but if you're coming into the district as a freshman in high school, then this program is open to you. There's no more wait for being in Camas School District during the middle school years. We look at the entrance exam, we look at the teacher recommendations, we look at the application. That's our criteria for acceptance. So any student, any middle school student can apply, have their teachers recommend them, and attend and take the test. So if they've been outside of the district middle school, that's fine. They do need to be a Camas student for the program. Looks like all the questions have been answered so far. If you are able to open up that panel and scroll through those questions that have already been answered, if there's anything you're still thinking about, there's 21 of them there. So there's probably a lot of information in those answers. Mrs. Levy is typing out an answer, but can a student join 10th or 11th grade? We found that the freshman year is so foundational for setting students up for success in their research projects and as a cohort that it's not been successful when we've allowed students to come in as sophomores. So we have not done that for a number of years now, for quite a long time. So the freshman year is the entrance to the MST program, and then our students stay with us for 4 years of high school. there's a question for the student panel. So when she gets that in there, I'll let them answer that one. What exact skill sets are you looking for in the application for the selection process? The questions are kind of geared towards that. And if my memory serves me correctly, the questions are kind of, how have you shown your interest in STEM outside of your classes? So looking at that curiosity about science, technology, and math is helpful. And then also, how have you overcome challenges? What do you think a good student is? Like, what are the characteristics of a good student? What does being a good leader mean to you? Those kinds of things. So we're looking at the student as a whole, and also their curiosity and interest in STEM specifically is what the questions on the application are kind of geared towards. Okay, so for you student panelists, I'm going to mute myself. You guys figure out who's going to answer. What's the most challenging part of being in the program?
I mean, it's a lot of work. It is. You're in advanced classes, you're doing your research outside of class. There's you got to make your deadlines, you got to write your papers, you have to do the work. You do. And it's really rewarding, but also there's just a lot of stuff on top of already, entering high school and making that adjustment.
Um, Hello, I would also like to add that I think one of my most challenging experiences was in my junior year, because as juniors, like us as students, we look for internship opportunities. And the magnet program really pushed me outside of my comfort zone to go out and like cold email professors and look for internship opportunities. So I think like, although that was probably one of like my most challenging like times in magnet, I think it also helped me grow as a person.
And Sam raised his hand, but let me say one thing. Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do have 32 students. I sometimes mix it. You did go to China, right? And do your internship at an institution in China.
Yeah, I got to do my internship overseas at a Chinese college, so that was a fun experience.
At the Chinese college. That blew my mind. That was amazing. All right, Mr. Green, I see that hand.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add on that many of the students who apply to the magnet program, whether they're in the magnet or not, are going to take advanced coursework, and high school is a little bit of an adjustment, so probably a shock to the system, but that's okay. We've got a lot of supports and structures to help you be successful. And so just know that whether you're in the magnet program or not, you're probably going to be doing a lot more homework than you did in middle school. So that's just the way it is. So keep that in mind.
And I do think challenging students is a good thing. But I will say, as a principals of technology, it's the first period they come into CHS and they get to see me. And it's the class that I get to go a little bit easier on them with and support them with the other classes and adjusting their perceptions and their perspectives and their expectations of high school in class. We spend a lot of time doing that. So it is nice to have that cohort where I see all the students and I do get to help them with that adjustment period. Will the magnet program still get to interact and have few common classes with regular? Yes. In freshman year, they have 3 classes outside of the MST program where they're with the general population of CHS. Sophomore year, they have 4 classes outside of the MST program. And then again, as juniors and seniors, they have all 6 classes with the general population at CHS. So they will be able to maintain relationships with friends that they have outside of the MST program and develop new relationships with those students. So we're not a microcosm that pulls away and is exclusive in the MST program. We are a part of CHS culture and we're very proud of that. Oh, yeah, Libby, the counselor, would be able to answer that question. I think there was a question about how many AP classes students take in a year, and that's varied for each student, but yeah. And as other questions come up, I'll say questions I think are starting to slow down. We'll give maybe 4 more minutes and 7:15 log off. So if there's anything final question you have dying to ask, go ahead and get it in there, and we have our student panelists that can answer anything you have. But I'll give you some closing thoughts. Thank you so much for joining us. Pass on to anyone who was unable to attend that there will be a link to this. And then get your applications going. And if you have questions, you can email me, Mrs. Abraham. It's brianna.abraham@camas.wednot.edu. You can email Mrs. Leby or Mr. Morris if it's a higher level question, maybe. But if you have questions about the program in general, feel free to email me about that. And we look forward to seeing you on, I can't remember the date now, 24th, 22nd for the exam, right? So we'll give you 3 more minutes. Oh, I see some more questions coming in. So that's a good question about DECA. And I've seen a couple questions come up about DECA. My son is in DECA. He's a sophomore in the MSD program, and he did marketing 1 last year. He's doing marketing 2 this year. And in fact, he's going to the international DECA competition in Orlando, Florida in 2 weeks. He's so excited. So I will tell you, there is 1 elective place freshman year that they can do. And the requirement for CTE, that they need 1 credit of CTE in their graduation requirements, right, is not a maximum. That's a minimum requirement. They can take more than that 1 CTE credit. So business marketing counts as CTE, principles of technology counts as CTE. They'll just have more CTE credits than they need to graduate. And then they kind of count as elective credits because they need 6 elective credits, I think, over the course of the years. So what Ethan did, my son, he put off his language because he only had that 1 elective place. He put off his language until this year, and he's doing Mandarin 1 this year. He'll do Mandarin 2 next year when he had space to do his 2 electives because he really wanted that marketing 1 his freshman year to do DECA. So hopefully that answers those questions about just the CTE credit. You can absolutely have more than 1 CTE credit. That's a minimum number you need to graduate. What is the reason AP Environmental Science is placed freshman year while AP Physics is senior and AP Chem junior year? So AP Environmental Science is taught by Mrs. Roberts, who is part of our cohorted teachers. So the reason that's placed freshman year is a number of reasons. 1, Mrs. Roberts is an MST teacher, so we can cohort the students in that program, and she helps support them in their research projects. And a lot of our freshmen will do ecological, environmental type research projects. That's not all of them, but a lot of them will. So she's a great resource to have. 2, it's a year-long college, well, it's a semester college class put into a year-long high school class. So it's one of the quote unquote easier AP classes to take. And it's an AP class, so it's college level work. It's not easy, but the content is spaced out. It's not crammed in. So it's a little bit more manageable for students with their time management and organization process to have that be one of their first AP classes to experience at Camas High School. So that's another reason why APES is freshman year. The AP Chemistry and AP Physics junior and senior year are simply placeholders. Students can take whatever science they want those juniors and senior year. It's not dictated by the program. When I went through school, it was biology, chemistry, physics. That was the progression of science. A number of our students will choose to do AP Physics junior year and then AP Chemistry senior year. A number of our students will only take physics because there's AP Physics 1 and there's AP Physics C, or there's AP Physics AB. I don't even know, but there's something about AP Physics where they'll actually take 2 years of AP Physics and no chemistry, which can be problematic based on the college they're interested in going to. So I do recommend every year when you forecast and you're filling out those 4-year plans for what classes you're going to take, keep in mind and be researching. If you're stuck on a specific college, know what they expect their incoming freshmen to have. They may require students to have a year of chemistry and a year of physics in their high school program. And if they haven't taken that, then they're stuck as seniors. So you do want to make sure to check with colleges what those entrance requirements are. That was a long answer for that and a lot of information, but things that I've learned over my time working with our students. Wow, 47 questions answered. We're now at 7:16. Yeah, Mr. Morris.
Can I just throw a couple things out there? Because there's a lot of the same questions about the exam and like the application process and stuff. When you apply for the program, we're assuming you want to take the exam. So those of you asking, where do I mark that I want to take the exam? We're assuming that's what you want to do. So prior to the exam, you will get an email at the email addresses that you provide to us in the application process, all the details you need, and then some regarding the exam, what you need to bring, how long it's going to last, all those sorts of things. So that will come to you there. Lots of questions about the level of the exam and what should I study and all that. Just be yourself and relax. Come in and do your best. It's not expected that every kid scores 100% on this exam. There are some hard questions, especially in the math portion of it. So I just want to be upfront with you guys to let you know there's some tough questions on there. I think of the years of me doing it, there might have been one student with a perfect score on the math, and even missing 2 or 3 questions is really, really, really strong. So it's not an easy exam. It covers anything from basic math up to some really tough things that you may have never even seen before. But that's the kind of exam it is. So it's really not something I can point at. Study this, study this. Come in, relax, have fun, do your best. And remember, it's only a small portion of the whole thing, right? It's only a portion of all the scores on there. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
That was great, Mr. Morris. Thank you so much for that perspective as well. All right, I'm going to say 7:20. We're going to sign off. And so thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Green, you'll be posting the link to this, correct?
That is true.
Okay, on our website, and then also because there is a MST link on the Camas High School website.
That's correct. And you can Google Camas High School Magnet Program and you'll find our webpage, or chsmstmagnet.com. And that'll be up there probably by tomorrow afternoon. And we might post something on our socials to let you know about that. By the way, be sure to like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram if that's your thing.
Yes, we do. This year we got pretty active on Instagram. It's been fun to see the posts, and you'll see both social events and things happening in the classroom. So it gives you an interesting inside look at what happens in the MST program. It's been pretty fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Oh, one final question getting in there right at the end. How much overlap with different grades? So in classes, freshmen are with freshmen, sophomores are with sophomores in the MST only classes. In their math classes, in their other elective classes, they'll be with all different grade levels, but those are not MST only classes. So the MST classes are cohorted by grade level, freshman and sophomore year. And so there's no overlap in the class period itself. Overlap in our social events, of course, but not in our class time. Format for questions on the test, multiple choice questions. Mrs. Leby will type that up, but I do believe for math, and Tom, you can either give me a nod or it's all multiple choice for math. Yes. And then the English test part, it's all multiple choice for the English. Then there's a writing prompt. So there's 3 parts to the test, and the writing prompt is creative thinking, and you don't have to research or know anything for the writing prompt. It's come up with, show us your creativity and let us know your personality. So how long should the test take? The schedule says 4 to 7:30. And so that's on the website, and it will be in the information sent out to you when you get your application in. So that will all be there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and end the meeting. We hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday evening, and looking forward to seeing those applications. Bye, guys.